Good morning. I'm with Mary Kate Andris, President and CEO of the YWCA for Southampton Roads. And today we're here to talk about something that's not talked about a lot, but a real issue all the time, but particularly during a pandemic, and that's the issue of domestic violence. And Mary Kate, can you tell us a little bit more about what the YWCA does in regards to helping victims of domestic violence?
Sure. So the YWCA is a domestic violence provider in the city of Norfolk. We also are the sexual assault response provider for the entire seven-city area, entire Hampton Roads area. We've been around for about 160 years. We've changed what we do with the changing landscape of what's needed in our community. We're an essential service providing shelter, counseling, victim advocacy and accompaniment to hospitals for people who need us to go with them. We spend a lot of time in court, standing between our client and their abuser to seek protective orders and to make sure that women and children in our community are safe. We do also help men who are victims of violence. I know a lot of people think, YW, so why would you help men? But we do. We have a lot of men in our community who are victims of violence as well.
Wow. So, what are you seeing right now in terms of folks who are calling, people in the shelter? Is it standard to what you would have seen last year? Are you seeing an uptick, and how are you dealing with that?
Yeah, we last week two, it was pretty quiet. It was pretty steady. People were staying home. They were taking care of each other. I think as time goes on and as the longer we are together, it's starting to bubble up and starting to percolate. In the past week, we've had 6 families that we've placed in our shelter because they were in imminent danger, very scary emergency situations. That's normal for this time of year, but 6 in 1 week is a lot for us. And while the weather gets nicer and people have fun and tempers flare potentially, we are expecting that it's going to get worse, not better and not level. And so we're preparing by putting our folks in hotels and getting them out of the scary situations that they're in.
I imagine that's a cost that may or may not have been budgeted for. If somebody wanted to help the YW in this situation, what does it cost to put somebody in a hotel or family in a hotel?
We've had amazing hotels really working with us to try to help us save some money, but it's about $411 a week for one family to live in a hotel room for the whole week. We're trying to place people in one spot so that they're not moving around. And then from there, we'd like to place them in a permanent space, an apartment. We're working with landlords through all the coronavirus. We're trying to see apartments and make sure that they're equipped for the people that we're placing, and landlords have been great to work with us for that. But it costs us about $411 a week, and we have not budgeted for that money. So we're trying to make it work as best we can.
Can you talk a little bit about domestic violence? Is there a certain characteristic, or do you see certain families that are coming in? Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, domestic violence does not discriminate. They say 1 in 4 women is a victim of violence. They could look like you and I. They could be young and old. They could be seniors. And so we have a lot of people in our community who are victims of violence who don't disclose it. It's not something you want to share and talk about, but it does affect everyone in our community. And so we're really trying to make sure that all of our practices and all of our methods of bringing people in are inclusive in any way, shape, and form, and that everybody knows that they can seek help at 24 hours.
And if somebody who's watching this happens to have a friend that they suspect there's an issue with, how does one approach that to ensure that they get help?
Yeah, this is a time where we're calling everyone, right? We're Zooming and we're calling and we're reaching out to people we miss and love. It's hard for those of us who are extroverts to be sitting inside of our houses. Yeah, but we need to be calling on our friends and checking on them. And we're doing that anyway, right? Because we miss them. So we need to be reaching out and doing a lot of listening if there's someone we suspect is having some trouble or needs some help. I tell people that if you're in a scary situation and you need help, you can call our hotline, which is 757-251-0144, and it's 24 hours a day. So if your abuser is in the shower, or your abuser went out to the market, or maybe they're mowing the lawn and you need to call, you can call a friend, or that friend can give you that number. It's a 24-hour number. And we just need to keep encouraging people to call for help, because we're here. We can get you out of the situation. We can help you safety plan. We call it safety planning, where you put a bag under your bed, and the bag under your bed has cash and maybe a set of keys and maybe your passport or your driver's license, maybe an extra set of clothes, maybe your favorite sweater, blanket, pillow, slippers, just so that if you need to get out in a hurry, you're ready, you're prepared to do so. And so we're encouraging people to do that if they think they see an opportunity to get out.
How does one handle that with children as well? I mean, that adds a level of complexity that as a mom, I just can't even imagine.
It does. It does. And that's why we have folks that can help you navigate the protective order situation, the temporary custody situation. We have our Family Justice Center, Norfolk Family Justice Center. And while it's physically closed, the number is on, we're taking calls, and the Commonwealth Attorney's Office and the Magistrate's Office, the police department will all help us together as a team, will help navigate that situation for a mom and her kids.
Well, I hate to think of this happening to any family, but I'm really glad to know that the resources are there with the YWCA. And so we're really grateful for all that you and your team does here in the community. Is there anything that you have seen that's, unexpected and positive that's come out of this pandemic crisis?
Yeah, we've had a couple families in shelter for some time, and we've had some pretty amazing landlords who are willing to show us the space with a mask on, with some gloves on. Everybody gets in there to look at the space. We placed a family, and the mom and a couple kids, and one of the kids has some special needs. And so to be able to, in the middle of all of this, to be able to house them and help them start over, that's my favorite part of this job, is to watch the families start over. And so we were able to do that in the midst of all this. And so that provides hope that we can do the same for these folks that are in our care now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, stay well, stay safe.
Ew.
I'll put more information and links to the WISE resources
Okay.
in my posts. But I just want to say again, on behalf of the city of Norfolk, thank you for all that you do. And we'll be in touch. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.